Hey everybody, good morning. It's Tracy back on here. Today is Friday, May 1st. As y'all have been knowing from following along, today meant that it was our official pregnancy test day after our 2-week wait, after attempt number 4 at an IUI. So this morning's result was posted to Facebook. If you're not following me on Facebook as well, it's Makings of a Mama on Facebook, and the result was posted and it was not pregnant. I was going to get on here and talk about what the team and I are talking about moving forward, because I did keep my doctor's appointment this last Tuesday. It's so hard to get a doctor's appointment that I didn't want to miss the opportunity to try to talk about some things. And so I took the appointment at home. After I tested early on Tuesday, I felt like I needed to do one to kind of have information coming in to meet with the doctor, even though she honestly didn't want to hear it, because it's not official until today. So the test on Tuesday was also not pregnant. And, I was saying to her that I went ahead and did it. I know that she's not looking for the response right then, because, May 1st is the official day. But that I did it because I thought that it was more likely to get a false positive than a false negative. So seeing a negative to me kind of solidified things. And she did say that it's actually the opposite. So you're more likely to get a false positive testing early than you are to get a false positive. Did I say that right? You're more likely to get a false negative testing early than it is to get a false positive. And so that was news to me, because in my mind it just made more sense the opposite way because of the medication and things that I'm on. It has that same hormone that they're testing the higher levels to show pregnancy is the same hormone that's in the trigger shot that I take. And so I figured that it was more likely to have a false positive because it was still picking up traces of that injection that I did. Anyhow, so I took some time that morning, went ahead and had the phone call. It was a televisit with the doctor, had it at home. Trent was able to sit in with me on it. He didn't say too much, but his support was needed, and so he was definitely there. We mostly went into it, I think, both of us wanting to know, we've attempted 4 times, why isn't this working? And that was said just to be a combination of everything. She did give me harder facts, saying that for me, with my body type, with my age, with everything, it's a combination of everything, and that I only had a 1 out of 10 chance with an IUI. Reading online, I guess my figures were different, because I had believed early on that my odds were like a 1 in 3. And then honestly, at some point I did read 1 out of 8, but she's saying for me and my circumstance that I have a 1 out of 10. I like that she had those figures for me, because I thrive on data. And honestly, when she told me that too, I immediately felt some relief. And I know that's weird, but I had been blaming myself for everything, and basically fretting over what can I change to improve my odds, what can I change to do this or do that, and it honestly just is what it is. And whenever I heard that it's a 1 out of 10 shot, I realized that I'm not doing anything wrong. I just hadn't had enough attempts, because we had only had 4 tries. so far. And so we're not even halfway there. We are coming up, this month marks a year in this whole journey. Though we did not start actual fertility treatments or anything until September. We had made the first initial appointment with doctors and doing labs and everything else. My first initial with my primary care physician, my PCP, was in May, towards the end of May. And when I had the conversation with Trent was in May. The other thing that we talked about during the doctor's visit was just, what are the other options? If I mentioned to her that I felt like I was the living definition of insanity, that, we keep doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. And I don't know that we're being as aggressive as what we should be, or I don't know if there's more that we can be doing, if there's more prescriptions that I could be taking, if there's more things. I talked about, I think it's bogus, so don't quote me on it, and I don't feel this way myself, but that BMI scale, I am considered obese on the BMI scale, obviously. I have been probably since 6th grade, because back in the day when I looked up my BMI and was very in tune with that, I would have to be 150 pounds, less than 150 pounds, just to not be considered obese on the BMI scale due to my height and the fact that I'm a woman. Like I said, it's probably been since 6th, 7th grade since I was 150 pounds. My smallest adult size was in college, and I would say that I was a more fit or athletic build. I was mostly a size 10, and I was 180 pounds. That's been my smallest adult size. If you saw me in person, obviously you can see my bone structure. I'm built like a brick house, Trent would say. And so, sorry, I have the song playing in my head now. I'm not going to sing for you guys. I know somebody just said sing it, but I'm not singing for you this morning. Anyhow, I would have to be under 150 pounds in order to just not be obese on the BMI scale. And let's be honest, that's over 100 pounds away. So, she did mention if that's something that I wanted to pursue in between things, that we have ways that we can do that. I immediately, of course, thought about the injections that everybody's doing. And that's up to them. I know that they have their own risks and things, but I also know that I can't be on those and pursuing trying to get pregnant. It makes it clear. So I don't know if that would be it. I am opting to try just little things in order to improve my just exercise and my metabolism and things like that, increasing protein, trying to be in the right mindset. And I also know that I can hyperfixate on things, and so that's not something that I need. I don't need the stress from it. I also would hate to take one of those injections. This is going to sound so vain, and it makes me vain, then that's what it is. But I know people who have been on the injections who have had incredible success at losing weight with it, but because it is so rapid, it leaves a lot of loose skin. And my vanity tells me that that's absolutely not what I want, that I feel good in my body as it is, and that I would rather stay my size than to lose weight too rapidly and be left with sagging loose skin. Now, it doesn't happen in all cases, of course, and just like they talk about, like that skull syndrome or whatever from it, where it like makes your face sink in and have like very skull-like features. And I wouldn't like that either. I don't think that would look healthy at all. But of course, I would like to improve my chances in any ways that I can. So making small changes is what I'm looking at doing. And with a goal in mind, now I work with ChatGPT a lot. This is not a paid promotion or anything like that. It's just something that I use. I've been using it for about a year now, and I do enjoy it. And I talk to it quite a bit, have several threads. It does help me with my thoughts a lot, and I like how it gets to learn your personality, and you end up having conversations that feel like it's more of a friend or a colleague than it is AI. And I'm not saying I trust it for everything. You definitely have to double check the information, do your diligence, whatever, using it. But I'm creating a little weight loss plan with ChatGPT, who also knows that I hyperfixate and that I stress myself out and that I take things to extremes. So she is making sure that I do not do those things. So the goal is to lose 1 pound a week. I was pushing things and finally got her to say our goal is to lose between 1 and 2 pounds a week. But it's just making very minimal changes to how things are right now. Getting more physically active, even though it doesn't seem like it is much. It will help. Making sure that I'm eating 3 meals a day at least that are higher in protein too. I skip breakfast every day. And my protein, I need to aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal, is what she's saying. Lunch and dinner, probably not a problem, but because I skip breakfast, I could see a difference, especially in my metabolism probably. Making sure that I'm drinking a glass of water before I eat. Eating off of a slightly smaller plate or leaving 2 to 3 bites on my plate, that's an issue for me. So I probably have to do the smaller plate because I was raised in a household where you clean your plate, and I swear today still, I could not just leave food on my plate. I think I'm too conditioned that you clean your plate. So eating off of a smaller scale, a smaller size plate probably will help. And so just doing light things, that's kind of where she had left it. And I was like, come on, I kind of need something more here, Shouldn't I also be looking at, doing like exercises to define more areas, like my arms or my thighs or my belly or my butt or something like that. And, anyhow, she allowed it, but it's very light. It almost sounds like it's an exercise plan for senior citizens, but honestly, it's more than what I'm doing. So, I will gladly do them, like little leg lifting and wall push-ups and things of that nature. So anyhow, I'm looking at doing that. The doctor was talking to us about other options, being IVF. And so IVF, basically they would do an egg retrieval through me. It's an outpatient procedure. You could use anesthesia, or it could be a local numbing agent for the retrieval. And it's expected that even though it's same day, you're not going to be working that day at all. And then oftentimes you don't work the next day either, it was saying. So they would remove eggs from me to put into a lab, and they would be then using our donor sperm to fertilize those eggs in the lab itself. Then they would be later implanting them back into me, and then we try for the best. she said, because I was asking like how many eggs she believed that they would be retrieving at that time, because you have to take 10 days worth of shots to grow and develop those eggs all at once. And she said that she was expecting to receive from me 5 to 10 eggs probably. And so then I asked her, I was like, okay, so they fertilize those eggs. Do they put all 5 to 10 of those back? And she said no, that their goal is always to try to do just the best one, because there's different safety standards and things like that. And then in the packet that they, of course, sent me, and reading that, they were saying that due to my age, well, if I was 40, I'm going to be 40 in September, that they could do up to 2 placed back in me. We talked about other numbers too, and she was saying that IVF would have a 50-50 shot for me. So I went from a 10% to a 50 by changing procedure. And then of that 50%, if I was successful at conceiving, I would have 2 times the likelihood of having twins or multiples. And she did mention it, that it often happens that it's twins or triplets. But that my odds double, in doing that. Other things to know. So she immediately sent the consult over, because I did mention that I think we need to. I think that we need to switch gears and try something to be a better success, because right now I'm kind of stuck in this cycle of taking these meds to better things, but the meds that I take also deter things because it creates cysts and things like that. And I just get in this cycle of up and downs, and that I think that we need to be more aggressive and do IVF. The eggs that aren't used in IVF for your implantation, then can go on to be used later. I mean, you can freeze those, and can be used later on, and then it would have less of a cost too, because you don't have to go through the egg retrieval all over again, because you already have specimens. You already have embryos. And so that's something to consider. The biggest factor of all of this is going to be cost. And I hate to put it down to that. But then again, I hate that I'm in a position where I have to spend money to try to be a parent, when it's just a hard part to it. A lot of people don't have to, and they have success just doing it their way, and I can't change any of it, but it does weigh on me that I didn't start this journey sooner, or it does weigh on me financially, because I'm taking money from my family to try to do this. And so with everything, buying sperm, all the medical expenses and fees and labs and testing and everything else, a generous idea is that right now, after 1 year of pursuing this almost, I would say that we're probably at closer to 10 grand. Under 10, but I'm going to say 10 grand of my family's money has gone in pursuit of me trying to get pregnant, and we've been unsuccessful so far. Now, other things, I have great insurance through my employer, and they're going to, I kind of think of it like if you're going to try to apply to purchase a car or something, and they're going to do a soft credit hit and check your account. I feel like that's what the finance team is doing right now. So they're doing like a soft hit on my insurance to see what's covered and everything. They give me a very clear picture of what to expect through the whole process. And I love that about working with this team. because I want to see the exact numbers. And so they'll be able to show that for me. I guess the good news with the whole IVF procedure and with the funds needed is that, I purchase donor sperm. And so that is already purchased. So they don't have to do sperm retrieval from a man in this process. And, that is helpful. Whenever I Google online and try to see what the overall cost is going to look like, they're talking about $17,000 to $25,000 for one attempt. And so I knew it had to be a lot because I also know that there's whole finance teams that's what they do, is finance IVF. So I knew it had to be a lot. But I also know that's more than the cost of my van. And we share a vehicle. So it's decisions like that that I have to think about my family. Trent, of course, being supportive. He's all in, whatever I want to do, kind of a thing. And he's not concerned about the money or anything else. We've had way less and we've been fine, and we've had way more and we've been fine. There's just considerations. So hearing back from my team today, I'm expecting to get financial information from the team either today or early next week, maybe Monday or so. And I'll have more info then. That's where we're at right now. The 2-week wait is awful. It always is. Honestly, the first week goes by pretty good. And then the second week comes and it's horrendous. The only good thing I could say about the news today is that I can stop taking the progesterone pills. It's not horrible. I am not torturing myself by doing it. It needs done to try to improve success here, and so I do it. But I am one of the 10% of people who get side effects from those pills, and I am tired of feeling that. It makes me feel like I'm having road sickness. It makes me feel dizzy or disoriented, makes me lethargic, and it also makes me feel hot. So I get lots of side effects from that particular medicine, and I'm just tired of feeling that way. So the good news is that, and the bad news of the morning, of course, is pregnancy test saying not pregnant. And then I was teasing about it, trying to make light of things. But I was like, of course, my day is just piling up because I take my prenatal vitamins in the morning, which are chewables. And I got 2 orange today. It's my least favorite flavor. But am I an adult with free will? Could I put those back in and get 2 others? I could have, but I don't do that because I get what I get and I don't throw a fit. So I leave you with that. I get what I get and I don't throw a fit. We're just going to continue to gather information and see what's best to move forward from here. Okay, I appreciate you guys watching and following along. I'll get this posted and hopefully I'll get you more updates as I know. All right? Bye, guys.